This sounds like it would be inappropriate. Can I get like a half on that? A halfie?
Right, a halfie.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
Oh my Lord, this is really hard coming from the other side. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Life's unfair. Deal with it.
Women write books now. No. Welcome back to Espresso Shots and Epic Plots. We've done 2 videos so far where I have quizzed my mom on her bookish terminology to see how her BookTube research has been going.
I did much better the second time, didn't I?
You did for sure. But this time, we're gonna flip the script.
That's right. I'm going to give you some of the book lingo I grew up with, and we're going to see how you do at figuring out what they mean.
So this is good because I've been reading more classics over the past couple, well, classics. Grab your thinking caps and your beverages and join us to learn some old book terms.
I'm going to give you 7 terms,
Okay.
2 acronyms, and 4 tropes.
Oh, okay.
And you have to give me the definition, tell me what it means,
Okay.
or identify the more modern definition.
Oh,
if you'd
okay,
like.
good. Okay.
I'm also going to tell you why these terms have fallen out of favor.
Oh, a little bit of education there.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
are there any of them I'm gonna have to like bleep out or gonna get a scrubbed from the internet?
There is one,
Now I'm nervous.
but no, you won't
Okay.
have to bleep
Okay.
anything out, I don't believe so.
Well, I don't know your vocabulary. I always have
Yeah.
to bleep out something.
I was a sailor for many, many years, and I've very much cleaned up my language. But I'm going to keep score as you
Okay,
did.
okay.
1 point if you get it right off
Okay.
the bat. A half a point if I feel like you're on the right
Okay,
page.
okay.
Or a half a point if you need the hint.
Oh, you have hints?
to
Okay,
get
good.
the answer.
Okay.
And then 0 points if I totally stumped
Right.
you.
Okay, got it.
Alrighty, and I'll just try and keep score as we go along.
I always inevitably miss one, and then when I'm editing, I'm like, oh my God, I did not write that one down at all. So
well.
do better than me.
The points don't matter.
That's true. They are made up. It's like whose line?
Our first term is the universal reader.
Well, I would assume that this is somebody that reads from any genre. They're like the everyman of reading. They don't have like a specific type that they read.
No.
Oh, then I guess I'm going to need the hint.
Written for the universal reader, the novel confidently assumes everyone has identical values, unlimited leisure time, and no internet.
Okay. A really long book that it would take the universe to go around and back. No, assumes everyone has identical values. A book that grandma would read because everybody thinks nobody has universal values. Nobody ever has had universal values. Oh, no, I got nothing.
This usually just meant that the book was written with the Western male middle class perspective in mind.
Was this something that people would seek out, or was it a way to categorize books?
I believe it was more because women and people of color were not allowed in publishing. So they just figured anything they wrote was going to be understood because the people that were doing the writing were men,
So
middle class or
Was
upper
that
class.
like a publishing term? Like you would hear it in
It
like...
was a genre basically.
Oh, it was
of
a genre.
book. It was just
wow.
the universal reader.
Interesting.
Any book had to
Appeal to
the universal reader.
Wow.
And it is outdated because we now acknowledge that a reader's culture, gender, and background fundamentally change how they interpret the text.
Well, I should hope so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a big fat
That
goose
first
egg for that one.
got a
I'm
0.
okay with that.
Thank God that
Yeah, really.
genre has become
I don't
outdated.
even think men read anymore. That's like a whole, not really. It's like a whole question on the internet is how many.
Do
That's not
men
true.
read
I know
anymore?
lots of men
Yes.
read, so I watch male booktubers all the time.
But I
so.
do. I've gone into Reddit threads where there are a lot of men complaining that they don't have the books written for them anymore.
Whatever.
And it's like, well,
Yes, they do.
yeah, go read anything written before
The majority,
1970,
not just that, no, the majority of the
1980.
books out there are still written for men, I think.
Yeah.
We just don't read those.
The Noble Savage.
Oh, geez. This sounds like it would be inappropriate. Okay, well, so I know after I just read Agatha Christie's And then there were none. I forgot the title for some reason. And there's a character in that book that abandoned the savages and like left them all to die. So I'm assuming that is the savages are like the lowly people that we were shunning at the time, whoever those may be. But a noble savage would be a character in the book that was different from all of their other savage peers.
Well, go back to your first description.
Okay, the savages.
Who was I'm surprised you don't know this. That really surprised me because this was very prominent when I was growing up.
I was not born when you were growing up.
I know, but that wasn't so very far away. Some of these terms I had to go way back into the 18th and 19th century. You said the people that were shunned or whatever.
Right, looked down upon, whoever.
Who is usually...
it's usually people of color. I'm just saying, like, of the day, like in Agatha Christie's book, it was originally, I know originally that book had a terrible name, and then they changed it to another name that we don't use anymore for Native Americans, and then by the time I read it, it was Soldier Boys or something like that. Like it completely changed it. So it could be any one of, like it would depend on what time period, like the savages.
Would you like a hint?
Yes, I'll take a hint.
All right, we'll do the hint.
If I have to be that specific.
Thus did he imagine the noble savage, attributing to her a moral clarity that spared him the inconvenience of deeper understanding.
What kind of hint is this? This is like a quote from a book.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Thus did he imagine moral clarity. I don't even understand this sentence.
Okay, let me think if I can. Did you ever watch The Lone Ranger and his...
Yeah.
And you remember his...
Sidekick?
Who was?
Oh, God, his name? Do I have to know his name?
It was Tonto.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes.
And there was something about Tonto that made him...
I mean, he was a Native American.
Okay.
He probably wasn't really a Native American actor.
No, he probably
some
was
white
not
dude.
even close.
Yeah, or Italian or something.
And what you probably don't remember is that, well, I'm sorry, I thought for sure
Explain
you were just
this sentence to me.
Attributing to her a moral clarity.
I got that part of it.
Okay, so he imagined this other being,
okay.
her.
Oh, so
different
she's
from
the
him,
noble savage?
Yes.
Oh,
a moral clarity that he didn't bother with
okay,
even
she couldn't even
thinking
think
about
that deeply.
How...
So in this context, she's the noble savage.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Does
right.
that help?
I mean, tell me. Go ahead. Tell me what it is.
All right. This is often a term used.
That's what I said.
For a native or indigenous character.
Yeah.
As viewed by a colonizer or foreigner.
Right.
However.
Okay.
What I didn't really quite realize until I started looking, I just always thought like it was the noble savages that lived in the Great Plains or whatever. That's the only term that I think this is a racist term, obviously.
Yeah.
It's outdated because it is harmful, one-dimensional, it's a racial stereotype.
Right.
However, the original idea was that there was an inherent goodness and innocence behind a humanity uncorrupted by civilization.
Yeah, they were too uncivilized to know about all the corruptions and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, in Agatha Christie's book, he leaves them to die because they wouldn't have even realized that they were in a bad situation.
I'll give you a 0.5 for coming up with a specific example.
Okay. Yay! I went to the teacher and explained my answer.
A bodice ripper.
Oh, this one I know because you used it. This is what we would now call spicy. There is a whole book box. There's a smutty book box, like it's called the smutty book box. I am not subscribed to it, mind you. This would be a romantic novel where on the cover it would literally show either somebody is ripping their own bodice or their bodice is being ripped by somebody else because it's a romance novel.
The hint is rather curl up in bed with a good bodice ripper than go on another blind date.
It's true.
And my explanation is it's a book with a lot of sex and sexual tension or very spicy.
Yes. Yeah.
So you got it. Yeah. I will give you an extra point if you can tell me why this term fell out of favor.
women don't wear bodices anymore.
That's kind of what I thought, but that's
No,
not necessarily the case.
I mean, also, I kind of am leaning towards like something related to consent and like whether or not you actually want your bodice to be ripped or not.
Fell out of favor because it carries a heavy connotation of non-consensual encounters. So 1.5. You're
Oh, I recovered a little
real
bit.
quick. I know you've heard this term.
Yeah.
Penny dreadful. Do you know what it was?
I think so. There a long time ago, my husband and I watched a show called Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah, it's been a while. Okay, I'm assuming they were short stories that were very cheap that it was almost like, I don't know, like magazine's not the right, like there's no equivalent to them nowadays, but they were short stories that authors would write that were kind of like fluff, and they were cheap things that the masses could buy. I'm gonna stop there before I think I need a hint to get more specific.
Okay. Sweeney Todd was first introduced in A Penny Dreadful.
Okay, so I was going to say that the point was to send some sort of message, or like whether it be like moral or political or information about something. No?
You got it
okay.
partly right. Do you know the story of Sweeney Todd?
Yeah, he's the guy that the I was going to say butcher, he's not a butcher, the hair cutter. What is that called?
He is a butcher.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he was supposed to cut people's hair, and then he
It's
cut
the
their
dreadful
necks and stuff.
part you're
right.
skipping.
Oh, yeah, they
missing.
were usually like horror thriller kind of novels.
Crime,
Sorry, I probably
nasty.
You're right, I didn't say that. You're
so
right.
0.5.
You're right. Yeah.
They were cheap, sensational series stories. They were usually sold in pamphlet form, so
Yeah.
you were right. They
Yeah.
weren't fluff put into a
Right.
magazine or a book. They
Yeah.
were sold
And
on the street.
I guess fluff isn't the right, because fluff you think of as like lighthearted, but I meant fluff as in
As in
like
a filler.
Yeah,
That's
they
the way I
didn't.
was
They
thinking.
didn't have a lot of weight or gravitas to them.
But they were also full of
Yeah,
gore,
right,
crime,
yeah.
and the supernatural. And it's outdated. We no longer buy our books from pamphlets. These did appear as soon as the masses, the lower class system
to read.
was able to read.
That's what I figured, yeah.
Now we have crime podcasts to keep us entertained. Okay,
Ooh.
tell me what serious fiction is.
Serious fiction. I should have asked for like a time period when the phrase was used. That would have been a good. Okay. No, you don't have to tell me. Serious fiction. I'm assuming that this was a genre that would be read by men who smoked cigars and drank whiskey.
That comes later on, but you're close.
And then would sit around and talk about it, almost like we would call it speculative. Nowadays we would call it speculative because it would be like, well, if we let this happen, then this is going to happen, and if we let this happen, then it would be like what could happen in the future. But not science fiction. I don't know, that's what I got.
All right. Let me give you a hint.
Give me a
see if
hint.
it helps.
Okay.
Taylor Jenkins Reid wrote 6 books before she felt she could write some serious fiction.
Okay, so the books that somebody would write to get known before they wrote what they really want to write?
Well, that's what that's basically saying, but that's not what serious fiction is.
Well, the serious fiction would be the heartfelt stories about everyday lives or about historical historical fiction that you would write. The more, so if I say the more serious works, I'm saying the thing.
That's the same problem I had. It's
I know.
fiction that's
serious. But it's not, it's all serious because it's not like fantastical, but it's more like the stories of not real people, but like the stories of everyday people.
If I were to tell you The Great Gatsby, Of Mice and Men,
Right.
and Watership Down are all serious fiction.
Oh,
Does that
even
help
Watership
you?
Down is real serious fiction? Oh, no, that doesn't help because Watership Down is about a bunch of rabbits.
What is the truth of all those books?
What
are they considered?
Classics?
Aha!
Oh, this was the term for classics?
A genre of literature
Okay.
characterized by its focus on in-depth character development, thematic complexity, and high-quality artistic prose rather than plot-driven action and commercial appeal.
Yeah, okay.
It's basically, you were never considered to be serious fiction until it was a bunch of whiskey drinking,
Okay.
cigar
Till somebody
smoking
gave you that
men.
review that
And it is outdated because it has done a lot of gatekeeping,
Right.
basically. What do you think you earned on that?
I don't know.
You
I feel
just
like at
rambled
least
a lot.
I know I did. That's what I was trying to get at. Can I get like a half on that? A
All
halfie?
right, a halfie.
That's what I meant.
Just because I'm your
Okay,
mom.
thanks. Oh,
What's an anti-novel?
the anti-novel? Is it nonfiction?
It's not the uncle-y novel.
Oh, not that kind of anti. Oh, the
It'd be
anti-novel.
non-fiction fiction.
Would this be what's the word? Not sarcastic, but it's what Confederacy of Dunces and satire. Is it like satire or the satire genre, where it's like a book that seems serious but is really like a satirical representation of life?
I suppose a satirical book could be an anti-novel.
Oh, but that's not purely what it is. Okay, I need a hint.
All right. With its disjointed timeline and lack of conventional plot, the author's latest work is a quintessential anti-novel.
Oh, so is it just a book that doesn't follow the conventional norms of like
Anything.
chronological, first person, like lots of different point of views and things like that?
It deliberately rejects or subverts traditional novelistic
Those are my favorite kind.
conventions. I know. What do you call them now?
I mean, I think there's just so many of them, there's not a genre for it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how people write in different ways. So it's just
metafiction or experimental literature.
Yeah.
All right. I gave you a half a point on that one.
That was generous.
Okay. The slipstream.
Oh. I know what this is from like a physics standpoint or something like that.
Well, give us the physics standpoint.
Well, I don't know about physics per se specifically, but you know, you've got like all of your realities, and then you have like a different reality that could be happening at the same time. So is this a novel that has like dual timelines or something like that? Okay.
Never Let Me Go, which I believe you read.
Mm-hmm.
Never Let Me Go exists within the slipstream of an unnerving dystopian reality, focusing more on the human emotion experience of its clones rather than the speculative technology of their creation.
Way to spoil that book for people if they haven't read it, by the way.
Really?
You don't get to the end until you know that they're clones.
Oh, really? Was that at the end?
That's like the
It's
big.
been a while
That's the big
since I read
reveal.
that.
Is you think you're like hearing
Spoiler
all
alert.
about these. I'll put that before we do this.
Yeah.
Let me go back to actually reading it now. Oh, well, so Never Let Me Go doesn't really feel like a sci-fi novel. It feels more like a literary fiction novel, but then you find out at the end there's like a big reveal that is like, oh, this is like a sci-fi novel. Kind of like Flowers for Algernon, where it's like, you really feel like you're hearing about this guy's life, but really there's like a whole like fantastical element to it.
Very good. A speculative fiction that blends together science fiction, fantasy, and literature.
Yeah, speculative fiction is what you would call it. Or magical realism is another one. So, look at that!
There you go. It's outdated because now we use magical realism and speculative fiction.
Which
that
I
are
feel
more
like,
common terms.
I was going to say, they're also a little bit, they tell you what it is. You know what I mean? Slipstream doesn't really...
Yeah, it'd be like this book is really gone into the slipstream. I think the idea was, you don't realize, or if someone were to tell you, you know, this book is about
this is a genre,
this thing,
right? Yeah,
you would think,
be,
oh, you're going to cover this, that, and the other thing, and it actually, totally
that makes
different.
sense. I follow that logic. It's not a term that we use anymore, period, or as much, I should say.
That's the whole point of this.
Oh, look, I meant
quiz.
I meant the word slipstream in general in all of its contexts.
Yes,
okay,
it just kind of changed terms.
Okay.
So. Okay, what's a DDS?
Oh, this is an acronym, I'm assuming.
Acronyms now, yes.
Oh, my Lord. This is really hard coming from the other side. I now feel your
shoot
pain.
yourself when I answer this one for you.
I need a hint. Like, I can't even begin. I need context.
You need a hint?
Yeah, I definitely need a hint.
Computers will be making the DDS obsolete before long. What if I told you it's really important to librarians?
The Dewey Decimal System.
Very good! The Dewey Decimal System was created in 1876 by a Mr. Dewey.
Well, I assumed as much, yeah.
Yes, as a means in which libraries are able to organize nonfiction books by subject using numerical codes.
And it lets you put new books in without having to renumber
redo
all
everything.
of them and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. As somebody that used to work in a library.
Yes, that's what I figured. This one would be easy.
But we still use the Dewey Decimal System.
Some libraries
Yeah.
and school libraries are transitioning to more modern word-based
Yeah.
or subject-specific reference systems. And honestly, I mean, I remember having to be taught the
Right.
Dewey Decimal System
Yeah.
and how to look up books and stuff. And now I don't think I've gone in front of a card catalog.
Well, no, that you now you look it up on a
look it on a
computer,
computer.
but then it gives you the Dewey Decimal number, and you just have to understand how to read them.
But
So,
chances are I would sit down and Google, I want a book written by a woman that's a science
oh,
fiction.
you're saying
as
if
a-
you wanted to go browse or
Yeah,
whatever.
if I wanted to find a book, I would probably
go into the library knowing what you were looking for.
and it would tell
you're
me
right.
where I was.
Yeah,
So I'll give you a
half. I needed a hint for sure.
0.5. Okay. This is another acronym coming
Okay.
up.
Oh,
This is the MLA.
yeah. MLA citation stands for.
You get a 1.
Oh, I just needed no, but that I haven't told you what it's.
Okay, see if
it's,
you can come up with the
APA is the American Psychological Association, and that's what you use in science. MLA is what you use in humanities, which is
and
oh my
literature.
gosh, yeah, that's humanities is like language arts and social
that's
studies.
What the L
yeah.
is the literature.
Oh, literature. What is it? Modern Literature Association?
I believe
okay.
so. Modern literature.
Yeah, I had to
Okay,
learn
so
both of them.
Modern Language
Okay.
Association. Sorry, I
Yeah.
was wrong on that being
okay.
literature. So it's a method of citation used in humanities, literature, and language.
Yep.
So it's the author page system. So when you're reading a book and there's a footnote.
That's actually footnotes are APA.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Footnotes are APA, but if there's a reference in there to another author's work,
Right.
that's
And
what
you see, like,
that is one type of
Yes, there's lots of
citation.
them.
I was just looking for the word citation. So very
okay.
good. It is not yet outdated because despite the rise of digital sources, they have remained relevant by providing a means to cite websites and multimedia, which is pretty cool.
And Google Docs has some really cool things where it will automatically cite it.
MLA?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
like in the document and stuff like that. So-
Sweet. So that was all for acronyms, kids.
Okay.
We didn't do a lot of acronyms back in the day, but now we're into tropes.
Okay.
So what is the fallen woman trope?
I'm assuming not literally like I've fallen and I can't get up. I need a strong young man to come help me. No, I'm sure it's not that. I'm assuming this is like a woman who was tempted into things that were not seen as ladylike, like, you know, kissing a man when they weren't supposed to, or participating in an affair, which was obviously only her fault because it's always the woman's fault.
Can you name a book?
Well, The Scarlet Letter, I would assume.
Good.
Okay.
That's the number one. The archetype of a fallen woman is among the oldest in literature. Dating
Of course it
back
is.
to Pandora and Eve. Yes. It is morally compromised female character.
Yep.
Was very common. It is outdated because
Women write books now. No.
yeah, it's rooted in 19th century patriarchal values that equates a woman's high moral worthiness with her sexual chastity and submission to male authority. Did I write that one down?
See, I told you it's hard. I think that was MLA, so no.
So 11, you got it right.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So
See,
now we're at 12.
it's
Yep.
I did the same thing.
I know.
Okay.
I got too into the conversation. Okay, what about a hard-boiled man?
Okay, I think so I know hard-boiled was a term they used to use for like crime, thriller, espionage kind of like novels. So a hard-boiled man would be a character in a book. Gosh, I don't even know what it means though. Like I know that's
Isn't
what
that
it's
funny?
associated with, but I always thought it was a
Describe
dumb
it.
term. Okay, I need a hint to give me.
Okay.
I got to
You're
the
gonna
spy
I'm glad
thriller.
you needed this hint
Oh
because you're
no.
gonna love it. I used to love The Quiet Man until Jen showed me how hard-boiled the main characters were.
I'm gonna go with misogynistic and manly, how like they met the manly stereotypes. Cause here was my very independent, strong mother who like made sure I knew how to change a tire, going on about The Quiet Man, and then all of a sudden this guy is like trying to beat his wife with a stick no bigger than her wrist, and I'm like, why are you showing me this movie?
It was a good movie of its time.
Yeah, of its time. I'm sure there are some movies that I will show my daughter that she will have the
I'm
same
telling
response
you,
to.
I'm telling you, I'm learning so much about how bad my previous life was. It cracks me up. Yes, it's a cynical, emotionless man, typically a solitary anti-hero. You're still using anti-hero, right? They kept trying to use anti-hero.
Yeah.
Relying on street smarts and dogged persistence.
It's funny though because
it's very film noir.
Okay. But I wonder why hard-boiled.
Casablanca.
Right, he was hard. Yeah.
Because there's no soft side ever shown.
Oh, that
I
makes
believe,
sense.
is
Okay,
what it
like
was.
he's cooked all the way through.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. It's outdated because
Okay.
it's basically toxic masculinity is
right.
what it is.
Okay.
The moral allegory.
I mean, an allegory is a lesson, but this is a trope.
Yes.
Would it be a trope for a whole book? I don't know if this counts as a hint.
Yes.
Okay.
It would.
So is this, I mean, I think of like kids' books where there's like a book for the purpose of having like a deeper lesson, like a folk tale, or is folk tale the word I'm looking for? Okay, give me the hint.
Blood over Brighthaven is considered a profound moral and political allegory.
So it's a fictional story that is really talking about a current issue in a way that is like fictionalized for a book.
Yeah, and usually the characters or the things are different. Like
right, like it's...
That's not the way I'm trying to say it, but
well, why don't you just read your definition?
In literature, film, or art, where character settings and act symbols, it's symbology. The symbology needs to be there. So it's not outright that these people are bad and these people are being put upon. It's more like these rabbits are just trying to live their lives.
Okay.
Events acts as symbols representing abstract moral, ethical, or spiritual concepts.
Got it.
Okay. And it's outdated because the term metaphorical narrative is more commonly used. A metaphorical narrative.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Say that.
I build a. I had to check it just before I came here, and it's not even really hard to say.
Is it Bildungsroman?
Bildungsroman.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Bildungsroman. That's what it is. Bildungsroman.
I think I literally just looked this up and then said to my husband, when I was looking up Pride and Prejudice and Jane Eyre, then I said this to my husband. I was like, have you ever heard this word? Oh my God, is this what it is? And he said no. And then I looked up what it was because I was like, what kind of word is that?
I did the same thing.
Bildungsroman?
Bildungsroman. That's right. That's how you say it. Bildungsroman.
Bildungsroman. Oh, I totally just looked this up. Give me the hint. I think I'll get it with the hint.
The Harry Potter series is a modern Bildungsroman marked by learning from loss and conflict.
Is it like a coming of age novel?
Very good.
Yes, because I looked up both Pride and Prejudice and Jane Eyre, and it used that word to describe those, and I was like, what the does that word mean? And then asked my husband, who knows all kinds of weird words.
I know, and he didn't
and
know
he
it.
had never heard it either. So
this popped up. I had not heard it before either.
Yeah.
And it popped up, and I'm like, I had to go see how to say it and everything. And it is a novel dealing with a person's formative years and spiritual education, and it is, according to
it showed up when I Googled it.
It's still used, and they even said more commonly than the term coming of age.
Oh, whatever, nobody can say it.
I know. I think maybe more commonly in literature professors in college or something use it.
Well,
and
I
then we
also
all
know,
pack it away.
like when I read Less, I kept wanting to call it a coming of age, but it's not a coming of age because he's an adult, and that's more of like a midlife crisis, but it's more like a coming to terms of self.
Formative years.
Yeah.
Well, no, they used it as coming
as
of
like
age.
So when you're
Actually,
younger,
you start young and you grow up. Okay, and the bonus is the tragedy
Wait, did I get
of
it?
fate.
Oh, you gave me a half. The tragedy of fate. Is this a trope?
Yes, I think it would be.
Or like a genre, or I guess a trope is
it'd be more a trope.
I mean, my gut just wants to go to.
It would be an entire book trope, though.
Okay, not for like something. Okay.
I don't know. How do you divide a genre from a trope?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have to go back to our definition of trope from 2 videos ago, or two 2 book terms ago.
Yeah.
I just want to say it's like a tragedy, like Romeo and Juliet, where it was like fated to happen no matter what, like either way. But that seems too obvious.
I'll give it to you. The 4 gold siblings in The Immortalist grapple with the tragedy of fate, yet it profoundly shapes how they chose to live their lives.
Yeah, it's the idea that because they knew what was going to happen, that ended up happening. Like if they hadn't have known, it's like The Measure. This you see that in The Measure too.
Yeah.
Where it's like people put themselves in situations because they thought their life was shorter, and it caused their life to be shorter. And then you have like that moral quandary of like, is it because of that, or is it because it was going to happen anyway?
Depicts characters whose downfall is predestined by forces beyond their control, often rendering their efforts futile. So this is outdated because life's unfair. Deal with it. I give you half a point for that one.
There's still books with that theme, but yeah, I've never...
Yeah, no, that's not necessarily a theme that has gone out of mode.
Right.
It's more of a...
It's just not... We would use other terms to describe those books.
A lot of our themes that I grew up with or tropes were in-your-face tropes, like marriage is resolution. Once they get married, it's happily ever after.
Okay.
It's a H-E-A, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of acronyms.
Well, you know why? I think because the reason acronyms get made today are for posting reviews on social media, and we'll use acronyms on
texting.
Like social.
It's because of texting.
I think that's
why
why
we weren't texting back then.
I bet if you had worked in publishing or editing, I bet they had a ton of acronyms, but you would have never seen them.
Right.
But now I bet those worlds have collided because of like quick,
good point.
that's my guess.
Alrighty, let's see what you got here. 10 out of 15.
Not bad.
All right.
If that's bonus, it's 10 out of 14. The bonus doesn't count towards your total. That's why it's
10
bonus.
out of 14.
I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I will put the score here.
That should be easy. I should be able to do that.
If it was 14 out of 10, I could do it. 10 out of 14, I can't do it.
That's it for our Book Lingo Part 3 quiz. Was I able to stump you on any of those?
Yeah, there were a couple of those, and then the one, I think it's so funny that I like had heard it recently, and the only reason I had heard it is because I was reading Pride and Prejudice.
If you've ever heard the word Bildungsroman before now, put that in the comments, and then come back and tell us how many more times afterwards you hear this word again.
True, yeah. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe so you don't miss our next video.
Thanks for watching, and
happy reading.